Hi guys, welcome back. For those of you who are new, this is Third Eye Scoop. I have a look at, famous archetypes. This series is The Devil Wears Fame, inspired by all of the P. Diddy, Hollyweird. There seems to be a lot on the world stage that we all need to witness on some level, and it seems to have reached a point where we can no longer ignore it. So I have selected about 20 celebrities I'd like to look at. I've already done 4 or 5 or maybe even the 6th one. I'm muscle testing the priority of those famous people to indicate who's next on the list of us to explore. I always do it from a violet lens point of view, so I'm always looking to see what the collective teaching is for us. It's not necessarily about gossip. It's really about understanding these archetypes and why they chose to incarnate in 2024 and what we are supposed to learn from their story. And so it's kind of always looking at it from that perspective. I also believe that whatever's happening in the macro has some connection to us in the micro, and so it's just for us to sort of explore that. I'm also looking at it with a hyper-focused intention about almost creating an energy grid of healing for those who need it, even if it's for ourselves or for people we do not know. So we're going to look at their soul contract. We're going to look at what karma they're trying to clear, what's their story so far, whether they're before famous, after famous, is there hidden agendas around them that they're not aware of, and really are they working for the light or the dark, and potentially what's the outcome of all of that. They may or may not be connected to the whole P. Diddy scenario, but all of these celebrities have had some sighting or admission of attending a white party. So let's just keep an open mind. Today it's Prince Harry. I was surprised that he was the next one to look at. But yeah, here we go. So I've already muscle tested a flower essence, as I do with all of the readings. I have about, I think it's actually 38 or 40 flower essence from the Bark Flower Essence collection. And you won't believe this one. It's Star of Bethlehem. And yeah, this is what muscle tested for Harry. So it's about trauma, after effect of shock, PTSD, great distress under conditions which for a time produced great unhappiness, shock of serious news, the loss of someone, the fright following an accident. Like, you just can't make this stuff up. So I'm going to start the reading by ingesting some of this for me, for you, for Harry. And we trust the process always. So, I mean, this could have something to do with his mom. Either way, I'm not going to lock into that. I'm going to see what happens during the reading. So, Harry is Virgo. And interesting with the Star of Bethlehem, you know, it is about following your North Node, your North Star for all of us. Virgo are supposed to almost be part of that. If you think about the Hermit card in Tarot, it's about following your inner light, your inner truth, trying to get quiet with all of that. And he's the life path one for those who are interested in that. Okay, so let's start with an essential oil also to connect to the emotional component of the reading. And it's really just bringing in vibrational remedies to help sift through some of this dark stuff, and or just to provide, you know, to bring in all of our senses. Energy is limitless. So, yeah. Let's see what comes up with Harry. Thank you. Rose, unconditional love. This has been coming up a lot in my readings. I also have an additional channel. It's more for lighter stuff. It's more pick a card reading. So if you'd like to check that out, it's called Tarot with Martina. This channel I just started recently to explore some of the world archetypes. So yeah, this unconditional love sends and surrounds you in the love of pink healing light. Now, I do feel like I'm connecting into Princess Diana's energy here. She was the English Rose. But again, let's just keep an open mind. 42. It's funny. It doesn't smell quite so rosy today. It's almost like I'm trying to search it. which isn't always normally the case. So I feel like there could be a message in that as well. Okay, so I'm going to pull most of the cards. Well, I'm going to at least bring out the archetype deck. I'm going to place the cards in the way I want to read them, and then I will tune into the message. For those of you who are new, I have already done Will Smith, P. Diddy, Usher, Jay-Z, and J-Lo yesterday. So some of the readings do have a trigger warning because it is some of the dark stuff that we are witnessing. And yeah, just to give you the heads up. So Harry's current energy is the Cave. Soul Contract, the River. Karmic Debt, the Dead End. Collective Teaching for Us. This has come up a few times before. The Creator. Card before fame. I mean, I guess Harry's always been famous, but I guess this is more with the intention of before the fame he manifested for himself. So the Poet. Post-fame. Curios. The Destroyer. Hidden Agendas. The Stone. And potential outcome. The Womb. Interesting. Just make sure all those cards are in your view. Okay, so Harry's current energy is the Cave. So yeah, I feel like this is obviously where he's at. He's in hiding, I guess. I'm not sure in what connection that is, whether that is anything to do with Hollywood or if it might just be America in general. I know there's always talk about his visa and his permission to be there. He has kind of isolated himself from his home. So he's feeling really isolated. It's actually, yeah, it's actually pretty sad, to be honest. I know there's a lot of, what's the word? Self-sabotaging that he's done in terms of this situation. But he's in a pretty dark place. It's almost like the only energy around him right now is this unconditional love. So it may be that he is connecting into his mum now. He's feeling that alone, that he has to reach out to the non-visible, the unseen world, beyond the veil, because nothing that he can gather in the 3D has any nutrition. It's almost like he's a shell of himself. It's like void of any color and nourishment. So yeah, he's definitely, yeah, that's pretty bad energy, Harry. His soul contract is the River, which is water, right? So it's really about the current of life, the emotion of life. It's about self-reflection. It's about when things go awry, you have to have the courage to step in and see what's truly around you, in front of you, within you, above you. It's all encompassing, and a lot of us avoid it, and he's definitely avoiding it too, because that's why he's in the cave. So he's definitely off course. He's I almost feel like, you know, like with a flood of a river, when it's outbalanced, it can like shun energy through quite forcefully, and I can see that with the Dead End and the Destroyer. I almost feel like the current of Harry's energy, it can be a little bit self-destructive, but I actually think it's for the benefit of, that's kind of why he's here. He's supposed to be that reckless energy, but it's also divine energy as well. Sometimes the collective needs a what's the word, course correction. And I feel like that's the energy where Harry is supposed to do. He's supposed to be a bull in a china shop, or I feel like he struggles with time and synchronicity. It's like he can put his foot in his mouth. He can you know rush too much ahead of time, and I feel like he needs to recenter and go back into his more nourishing side. He's so stuck in fight or flight that there is a calling for him to get back to some of his own sensitivities and sensibilities. I feel like he's lost. Yeah, I feel like his view of himself is like flipped upside down. Um, with the dead end, I'm seeing that I get the sense that he's here to stop something big, like I said, with that gush of water to like dislodge any stagnancy. This could be the monarchy itself. I feel like he definitely upended a lot of the stuff with his book, with the spare. And I feel like it was an empowered speech. I feel like he was still in the cry for help. He was ignored. He was isolated anyway, long before he's isolated himself or removed himself from any sort of familiar, safe territory. So he's definitely created a portal of massive change. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes through with the other cards with that. His past is the poet energy, and I do sense that I think Harry has not ever really been playing to his best strengths. I think he is sensitive. I think that's why he lashes out, and I don't think he came from very stable nourishment. Obviously, growing up in a sort of a very traditional conservative establishment, plus the trauma of losing his mom, the shock to the system. It's like he did lose his North Star. He just didn't know no one was really witnessing his own growth. He couldn't see his reflection in others because his father perhaps or his family around him were constantly projecting what he must do and what he mustn't do, that he never got any clues or signals to his actual strengths. And so it's like I also want to touch into the creator card, but before I do that, I do feel like he had lost it's almost like a crystal ball, right? He kind of lost his path forward, and I guess that came through his book with despair. It is that younger sibling in any family. And so this might be a lesson for us, like not to always be submissive, but that, you have a different journey to follow through with. So it's almost like kind of reflecting on where your thoughts are going to, like which ones are heading in a better trajectory than the ones that you get suffocated in. I feel like with the collective teaching for us, it's again, we've got the destroyer, we've got the creator, we've got a dead end, destruction, stone energy that seems like pretty solid, but maybe too solid, stuck. So I feel like there should be a flush of energy through the cave of Harry somehow, for himself or for us. But it's like following your true north. It's like he's, I guess, also trying to ignite, play to your strengths, don't play to the expectation of others. I feel like the forces that work against Harry is obviously the establishment again. We've got the stone energy. There's a lot of rules in place that he's had to adhere to. But again, he's bust the dam of that too. But again, it's out of control emotions. It's not carving a flow of good intentions to create what he needs to create. And so, yeah, he needs to come into more of a, I guess, obviously a feminine energy that he's missed out on. I feel like he may have... that's kind of like an inflamed feminine energy he may be attracted to now. I feel like that might be Meghan's energy. He kind of rushed towards something that seemed soft, but I don't think it's working out as he imagined it would. He's fighting against time. I feel like he's running out of time to find his true north or his true path. So maybe there is a bit of calling for him or initiation for him to get back to his grassroots and find out, it's almost like he has to look back in time. I'm seeing the blues here. It's like, use your intuition to go back in time, back to the start, to see what was actually creatively exploding within you, within your imagination, Harry. You have to go back to basics. You have to figure out what takes you out of this dark, monotone lifestyle, and what gets ignited within your own intuition, so that you can maybe see a clearer path in the future. But it does, you do have to get back to basics. You have to go to grassroots again. So maybe the cave is the perfect energy for you. It's almost like you have to take aim of what you're actually wanting to destroy, intentionally, with clear vision. It's okay to remove what doesn't serve you, but it can't be self-destructive, and it can't be self-sabotage energy, which I feel is what's been happening lately. The womb card, yeah, it's getting back to safety. You can't get into creative mode until you feel safe. You need to get your basics in line. And I feel like there has been a disproportion. If you look at those two triangles, like you want to create that Merkaba energy, the two inverted triangles, that makes like the 10-pointed star. But it's like you have to get balance back in, and you have to remember your essence. And yeah, I feel like he is going to hopefully, the help with the guidance of his mom, regain his pathway into the North Star. But let's see what the cards have to say. I think he's on the world stage for, just that. It may be ending the monarchy. It may be at least creating the version of it that we are used to. It's like certainly shifting the status quo again. But yeah, let's see why we need to witness this right now. Why was he the next priority in this story? Show us the cave for Harry. Defender, Knight, Bodyguard, Special Intelligence. Devil, Dark Magic. Could there be a distraction for us with Harry, that we just think he's kind of been a bit of he's been dragged? I guess he's not really got a positive, his image isn't really intact right now. We've kind of, I guess by his own demise, but there may be a truth that has been, I guess, spilled out in the wrong way. So it is a timing issue. Somewhere in his message, there is truth, and we all need to look at it. But the way he's done it from very disempowered agenda or momentum, we've kind of missed some of that. So maybe because he does have knowledge of the elites, there may be a truth that he might be defending. But because he's like rejected all of it, we've just might have seen the spoiled brat syndrome. But there may be something more in that he's trying to highlight to us. There may be something that he should have defended and destroyed, but it's all part of his movement. He is taking movement. Knights represent movement as well. So actually, it's almost like this knight isn't actually on a horse. And I feel like the horse is represented in this card. So I feel like he hasn't quite got there yet. He hasn't got his charge. He's not fully aligned yet. He's been working against himself. He's been working against his contract. He's been working against what he's supposed to. He's at a dead end almost. It's like he has to find a way to turn it around. Show us the energy of the river for Harry. Extraterrestrial, off-worlders, close encounter, early earth dweller, watcher or guardian. Bottom of the dark deck, peacemaker, diplomat. It's weird. It's like he does have a strong bloodline. So I do feel like he has been a guided knight. There's definitely a battle he's here to bring forth in the collective. I mean, he does have military background, so he does have strategy. He is Virgo, so he's quite practical, but he needs to be in balance with his vision, the delivery and the timing of that, and reconnect to his actual contract and realize that he might be definitely here for some diplomatic reason, and maybe get back to, he was very good with the Victus games, right? So there's something that he's missed. There's something he's missed on what he started off with where he's at now. Show me the dead end with Harry. Show me the dead end with Harry. Yes, professional collector, hobbyist, model. It's kind of strange that there's definitely artist, creator, poet, group living, tribe, monastery, cult, commune. When you have the dead end energy, and you have artist or sensitive or a vision or a dogma or a manifesto, if you like, one of the knee-jerk reaction is to like pull the plug on everything and run to freedom, like a commune. You try to be around like-minded people to activate, engage some of the message so that you can mature and cultivate and deepen your agenda. And I feel like that's what he's been doing. He's kind of had to go through these evolutions and get rid of what's, been blocking his flow. Okay, show me Harry and the poet. Blank canvas. Truth seeker, questioning of authority, spying, investigation, spiritual questioning. He never had really a good start to explore these whimsical visions, because he's been too busy in the battle, right? And unfortunately, at a very young age, he never had that nurturing energy. So he couldn't have that soft, sensitive nurture to sort of articulate some of his ideas. There was a heavy questioning of authority. So he couldn't find his truth. Like he just felt constantly watched, tried to be redirected in the wrong way for him. And so I feel like he just didn't have a vision beyond his established lifestyle. So I feel like, he didn't know how to get his momentum. And I think he was a little bit wayward, right? He did rebel a lot during his younger years. He was certainly suffering, for sure. Show me the destroyer. Children, fertility, illegitimacy, infertility, loss. Water disaster, flood, drowned, lost at sea, tsunami. Wasn't that interesting with the river? And we've got water disaster, flood, drowned. It's like a little hand and a big hand here. When you lose a parent, for example, you lose such a huge part of yourself. And I feel like because his emotional stability was ignored, he almost became illegitimate in the royal family. And when you have no vitality in your life, it's very hard to become fertile, right? And I feel like that is definitely why he was able to turn his back on his family or his bloodline so easily and went all in because of that. There was such a stunted view of his childhood, and I guess it's also kind of a stunted emotional intelligence anyway within the monarchy, and that's why he's destroying it. It's like, and as a consequence, he's gone all in on his family and his children. But I wonder if that might have been also a cost to himself. It's like the pendulum swung one way and went this way, and now we're just waiting for it to settle somewhere in the middle and get back to center for Harry. Show me the stone. Wait. Torture, technology, victim, witness, informer. he has gone and had a few lawsuits, right, in terms of spying, people bugging him. But I think it's more than that. I feel like he's kind of been constantly spied on. I feel like he's constantly getting engineered somehow. Um, I do even feel like it's it's not just from his past; it's also in his current time. So I feel like it's like when you have the biggest lesson to learn about yourself, it's like you become captive, right? So even though he was running away and destroying the control and the established mindset of the monarchy, he went straight into another version of it. And I feel like he is still currently trying to defend himself, and but he's still being manipulated, orchestrated, and so he can't quite get out of all of these burdens that he's found himself in, these self-imposed prisons, but at the same time, yeah, childhood trauma, abandoned, orphaned, abused. So it's like he's rushed into another, I guess, narcissistic relationship. And unfortunately, he's also been held captive by his own childhood trauma. So he doesn't want to impose that threat onto his kids. So he's staying captive. He's staying in a cave. He's still trying to protect his family, protect himself. But it's constantly getting orchestrated and manipulated and maneuvered. So he's in a bit of a, yeah, he's definitely in a crisis point right now. Show me the creator. Too many. Show me the creator. Animals herder, animal lover, animal carer. And it's kind of like, it's almost like wounded animal. It's like loyalty. It's like man's best friend. I feel like this is what we need to be to ourselves and to others. It's like just because we almost self-destruct or we self-destroy or we self-sabotage but we're all worth loyalty. We're all worth care. We're all worth restitution. We're all worth a rebuild. And it's almost like treat our inner child like we would treat a wounded animal. We've got to be able to take better care of ourselves and the people around us and the world at large. It's like remember what's actually important. If we don't nurture our souls, we don't nurture the collective. If we're not in our feels, if we're not in flow, if we're not in our emotions in a healthy way, this is where all the roadblocks come in our life, and we block the creative source that we are. We're constantly channeling and downloading, but if we are blocked at certain impasses, then we start to carving space for other people's projections into us. So it's like we have to, yeah, honor our own needs. And Harry's not ever been able to do that because he's always been told from birth what to do, what to say, what to feel, hide your emotions, don't be in public, say nothing, stiff upper lip. So of course, the minute anyone showed him love, he was going to rush in, but it might be too fast. And that's also a lesson for us too. It's like, be careful what we're rushing into, false love or codependency, for example. Show me Kairos. Show me Kairos. Accomplishment, celebrity, achiever, competitor, failure. Judge, lawmaker, lawyer, law enforcement. I feel like he's been trying to turn the ship around. I feel like he's been trying to outrun his failure on a world stage. I feel like he thought he was going to have his victory in America. I feel like he thought he would find his way inside celebrity. He probably understood that famous people were the only other people that would recognize some of the internal prisons imposed on him, the dead ends that it can occur, the cave mentality, the isolation, hidden. But he just kept getting in the ring of accomplishments that kept failing because he wasn't following his true path, true trajectory. And so that's really what he's that's what he's going to have to come to terms with. A decision might be made. Some legal decision might be made about his future. That could be visa, that could be, well, we'll see what tarot says, but there's definitely something that's going to get decided. It may take the power out of his hands, or he may enforce the power. Let's see. The womb. It could be this energy as well, where the clogs in the background could have an agenda towards his future. Show us the outcome of the womb. War, deserter, trauma, warrior, conscripted. But you see, there's the horse. It's almost like chariot energy, right? It's like he may find his battle. He may be able to take aim at where he needs to go. He may even go back to working with veterans. Burned again, persecution. He may go back to what he knows. He knows about trauma. He knows about veterans' trauma. He knows about, he may go back to his roots. Okay, let's get tarot. I'm just going to take a little bit more of this. Great distress under conditions which for a time produce great unhappiness. Shock of serious news, the loss of someone, the fright following an accident. Sometimes our greatest lessons in life are parts of our mission. He understands trauma a lot because of personal suffering and personal empathy. I think he just needs to get back to that. I think he is an empath, but I feel like he's a shell of who he used to be. He's lost his, he's lost his vehicle to be the defender of what he needs to be. He needs to get back to that. Now that he's destructed this ending, this new growth, this new beginning, whatever he's creating, he needs to figure out the timing of it. And I presume it's going to be sooner rather than later, hopefully. Anyway, for Harry's sake. Show me tarot of the defender in the cave. Strength. Four of Cups. I feel like he may be around nature. Maybe, I know he likes to go to Africa. Maybe he just needs to get back to his roots, his nature, rebuild, find his strength, find what matters. I think he's alone. There's a lone wolf. I feel like he's regrouping around the things that matter to him. He's trying to find out which path to start working towards. He's still not quite there. He's still, he hasn't got the strength yet though. Show me the river. 10 of Cups. See, look at that pool of water and then the dam walls coming down, but it's in flow and everyone's sort of like bathing in it, sharing the love. He's the dam burster. Yeah. His journey's not over yet. He's actually going to end up some moon energy. He's got more cycles to come. This isn't his journey. He's not going to be on he's not going to be absconded or in hiding for the rest of his life. He's got another war in him, or another battle, or another accomplishment. He's got more life to live for sure. And more uplifting to do. I actually think Harry will actually find a way through to the rest of us. I don't think his legacy is over yet, but he's in definitely a bad decline, or has been up until now. Show me the dead end. Shaman of Discs. See? He's coming with a lifeline. It's all very desolate, but he's actually, when he builds his power back up, see how it's barren? He's waiting for the it's like a dry riverbed. It's like he's bringing the lifeline with him. Why would he not need a lifeline when the riverbed is dry? Because he knows that it's coming. He knows that there's going to be a massive shift in something for him where he starts building his sovereignty. Why would he need a maybe he's taken his own lifeline. It's like a lifesaver, whatever you call them. It's like he knew the road would be rocky. He knew the path would be very, very tumultuous, but he came prepared. So he brought the gifts with him, for sure. Show me the poet, the blank canvas. Show me the poet and the blank canvas. Here comes the water. 7 of Cups. Son of Cups. Once he calibrates this blank canvas, like from the past, of illusions and delusions, it's like he doesn't really know which is which. It's that he hasn't been connected up until this point because his, he's been in deficit. Emotional and nourishment's been in deficit. His projected path forward's been in deficit. And so when he connects to himself and gets his channel to flow, he's actually going to come up with a lot of emotional tools, emotional purpose, emotional path forward. Like this defender, he's going to be some sort of, I don't want to say hero, but like he's actually going to be a light figure at some point once he finds his calibration again. Show me the destroyer. 10 of Swords. It's that wave. It's like, it's definitely coming to an ending. He's either going to take his power back. That almost looks like the monarchy as well, the establishment. It's like, it's also like the water is green. It's like it's got healing energy and it's coming from true strength and sovereignty, but he's actually going to take the sovereignty that he perceives it to be. Like we talk about personal sovereignty. But this is like the monarchy. He's actually going to take it down, but in a high vibrational way. He's not going to allow this establishment to hold the power over the children or, the family monarchy. It's going to return back to basics. Yeah, individual sovereignty. He's going to challenge the establishment to redesign what that looks like these legacies or these rules. I feel like he's begging or he's going to be challenging them to be rethought. Why do you break a family out of tradition? Why does family relationships have to perish because of an elite established bloodline? Show me the stone with torture technology. There you go, tower moment. It's like they thought they would break him down or conform, but not Harry. He's actually, as much as he's not loving the tower moment, up until now, he's understood that the resilience that he's had to build, but he's going to have to start owning it because it's been destroyed for a reason. But he needs to build his own power, and you've got the Sun card there. So it's like when he was the Strength card back in nature. Yeah, you see giraffes, zebras, like By the time he comes out of his time in Africa, by the time he recalibrates who he is, by the time he gets fun again, by the time he gets in touch with his feelings again, by the time he just gets rest and restored, the inner strength's going to build, and that's when, he's gonna achieve beyond the failure that he sees now. Show me the womb. Show me the womb. Take this one. Two of Wands. I love that it's got African vibes. Projective path forward. There's two, right? But he's imagining something different to what he has now. But he's trying to figure out, how does he incorporate his home life? Is it still possible? Or is he building it outside of her? Is he trying to get his spark back outside of Meghan? Let's see more about Meghan. I want to see about Harry's marriage, Harry's family. Show me Harry's marriage. Bottom of the deck, the world. Ooh, there's a tower again. There's a star, Ace of Swords, Queen of Wands. You know what? I actually want one more card. Yeah, that's what I was thinking was missing. Okay, Harry, tower moment. He's pulling it all down. It's all coming down, and I feel like he is, again, the star with the whole Star of Bethlehem. He's recalibrating what nurtures him. He's recreating what he wants in his life. Whatever he's built up until now, whatever he's destroyed up until now, what he's tried to rebuild with false empowerment is all coming down. So it's like a crash and burn for all involved, but it's a divine crash because he's starting to put his stocks back in himself. He's starting to nurture himself. I think he is coming back to helping the world on some level. I think that's kind of like, work related. I think he's going to get back into his true calling, his true charity. He's getting clear. He's finding out what nourishes him. He's picking his target and he's going for it. And the Queen of Wands, who is a little bit, I'm going to say this is Meghan's energy. It feels like she's into the selfie mode. Like we all know, she's a little bit, actually I'm going to reserve my judgment because I haven't read on her yet and I know it's coming. But yeah, she's got her face in social media and potentially not seeing what the things around her. She's missing the clues or she's missing the point. She's distracted. Maybe she's distracted by the stars around her. Maybe that's also a bit of a calling to the celebrity. And judgment's coming. And I feel like the more she taps into this lifestyle and ignores the things around her, and she just keeps commenting on, worrying about what's commented about her, other people's opinions, she's getting more and more isolated or desolate. But Harry is like, Harry's going to come out on top. He's going to resurrect. I think, I'm Scottish originally, and, the royal family's gone through a whole lot of, it's been a shit show, particularly with Harry and Meghan and Brexit. But a lot of us always wanted the best for Harry. We were all very connected to Princess Diana. And, he feels like one of our own. And, this is an interesting relationship because, actually, let's pull a card out for these two. Oh, I missed these two. Yeah, I was wondering why is this important for us to know. Let's do one for accomplishment. 6 of discs. Yeah, okay, give and take. He's going to figure out what After he resurrects himself, he's going to put more of it into himself, and what he gives and takes. It's not going to be a one-way street. He's not going to pour all of his energy into. It's going to be more of an equal exchange, definitely give and take energy. And for the Creator and us, Queen of Cups. See, there's a Tower moment there, clouded. Getting clear on the towers that you build, emotional towers that you build. Make sure that they are sustainable. And Six of Cups. Don't let the trauma of your childhood dictate a lot of things. Don't let it dictate your purpose. Don't let it dictate your relationships. Nurture yourself first. Nurture your inner child. Get in touch with your emotions. Step inside the river. Don't hide out in the cave. Go back to your grassroots. What inspired you when you were young, before other people started to influence your life, before the status quo got so ingrained in your psyche. Find out what the dead ends are. We all raised our hands up at this time to be part of this collective. That's why I always find it important to read what's happening on the world stage, because there's messages for us. And we need to figure out how we are collectively building it. And we've got to wash away the trauma, cleansing the trauma, but not just for ourselves, have compassion around us for others. But it's also, don't allow other people's emotions or unhealed trauma to dictate and operate and engineer you. And that's that relationship between empathy and narcissism. And we have to be very, very clear on what that is. We have to figure it out. And Harry and Meghan, I think, have been an epic couple on the world stage. I would put them in the same category as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But I feel like Harry and Meghan it's still playing out on the world stage. And yeah, there's definitely a loud message for us to learn. Okay, show me. Let's have some messages. Maybe we can get some messages from Diana. Let's tune into Diana's energy. And what would she like to tell Harry and us? You know, Diana was complete first victim of this. Maybe not the first victim, but in terms of Harry's timeline, yeah, she was very well aware of these conditions. So show us some messages, Diana, about what you'd like to share with Harry and us. That's it. Be good to people. You will be remembered more for your kindness than any level of success you could possibly gain. That's a repeating message from some of these famous people. A good laugh, a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. So, like, don't let our accomplishments be all the things that we go for. Don't let them be titles. Don't let them be the richest. Don't let them be the most famous. Don't let them be the most beautiful. Don't let them be the most, the things we remember the most about Diana is her emotional intelligence. We were sad when she was sad, and we were always amazed by her compassion for others. That's what we remember more than the fact that she was married to a prince, or that she lives in a castle, or all of those things. We carry some of her battle scars with us because we grew up with her. We saw it unfold. And so really it's about humans conditioned to be nourished and emotionally supported, and how that, when it goes off the reservation, can be so destructive for all of us. But at the same time, when it's in true flow, we can really clear out and dislodge a lot of survival, fight or flight energies, so they don't have to be dead end, and that you get stuck into a time loop. Because when you come down here, you almost have to remember your broader perspective, and that really it's all about love, really, at the end of the day. So Okay, I think that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks a million.